Hi, I'm Kevin with Springfield Leather.
And I'm Rusty with Springfield Leather.
This is my iced tea.
With Springfield Leather.
Yeah, my ink pen. I always have those two things.
With Springfield Leather. And actually we found the ink pen after several weeks of searching in the bottom of the scrap bin one time. But we did locate it. All is well. The world was able to continue.
You know, there aren't that many really super important things in life, I've discovered. But iced tea, ink pen, is critical. It's the way it goes.
So,
they've got some questions for us here.
And I thought, you know, since this one, I have a very easy answer for myself for that first one. So I thought maybe I would ask you the first one. I know the answer, but I don't know if they do.
Okay.
How did you get into leather work?
All right. To make it very short and sweet, in the early 70s, I was a hippie. I was playing music in a rock and roll band. I needed a leather guitar strap. So I took $100. I went to a leather store and I spent it all on all the wrong stuff. Excuse me. Came home, made a guitar strap. It was really lousy, but it held my guitar and it worked. And one of the guys in the band, the bass player to be exact, said, "Hey, I'd like to have one of those straps too." So, okay, I made him one. And one thing led to another. I ended up making guitar straps for a couple of music stores that sold equipment and what have you. And then I started making handbags and wallets and belts and hanging them in my father's restaurant, which I lived above. And he would sell them graciously for me to customers who didn't know any better. And that's how I got into leatherwork. As that went on, I realized I was not going to be the next Bruce Springsteen. So I got a job working for the leather company that I bought supplies from. I worked for them for 24 years. And when they closed, I took the plunge, bought the store here in Springfield, Missouri, and the rest is history, sort of. Now, so how did you get into leatherwork?
Like many of you, him.
Oh.
So,
that was really short.
I told you, believe it or not, Kevin and I have managed to be friends for 25 years. Yeah, I had to take the long way to work so I could say those words out loud. But no, we've been friends for 25 years. Kevin and I got to know each other outside of here, obviously. I have a background in construction. That's what I've done 99% of my life as far as secular goes. I have worked in many, many different fields of construction. I was working on Springfield Leather, the building, and I got to notice, and I'm out here and it's cold. I'm looking in the window and those people are warm.
I think you got tired of me asking you when you were going to be done.
So I decided to get a job here and tell him I would never be done. So
well, that part worked out.
It worked out.
You know, and one of the things that mentioned here, they've got these little happy little notes for us. So if we look down every now and then, that's why they ask us about our overall philosophy for life and business. And one of the things that I discovered over the years and I am really hesitant and somewhat loath to admit this, but Rusty and I think a lot alike sometimes, shockingly so. It's scary. But anyway, I guess there could be worse things. But as far as philosophy for life and business, mine personally, I don't want to sound cliche, but I want to treat others like I want to be treated, and I want to be fair in business, and I want to sell something to everybody. I want to have something for everybody, and I want it to be a win-win deal. I don't know, that's kind of most of it.
Well, and that's sort of the same line of thinking. You know, the thing is I like to sleep at night, and I like to do so and know that I did what I could do. And so I want to make sure that the things that we do is the things that I would like to have done. or be treated the way I want to be treated. I want to know for sure that we've done everything we can do to give a fair deal, to do the best we can to make somebody successful at what they're doing, because if you're not successful in what you're doing, then you're not going to want to continue to do it.
Yeah.
I do think that attributes to the success of Springfield Leather.
I do too. And, one of the things I always appreciated, or maybe didn't appreciate, was when I was working for someone else, it was very hard to have all the answers to what I wanted to know. And so when Springfield Leather came into existence, we determined that all of our employees were going to know as much as possible about the business. So we have a weekly meeting, and we have, how many people are at that meeting, Rusty? Yeah, I know. I don't know either.
So 90-ish, 93, 94-ish, give or
Yeah,
take.
there's 95, roughly, 93, 90.
Are we counting dogs, or are we just counting people? Because if we're
just
dogs, we're over 100.
Forget that, just
Okay.
people. So there's 90-some people at our weekly store meeting, and we try to make it so that everybody has the opportunity to know what all the various departments are doing, what the various departments need, what's going to be happening that week and in the future. We just feel that that's the best way to go about it.
And we have learned over the years that not everybody is paying attention every moment, so we try to make sure that we repeat the important things. And so when somebody says, well, I didn't know we were doing that. I say, well, where have you been for the last 4 meetings?
Yeah, and you know what? Our employees enjoy those meetings, I think.
I think it's the biscuits.
The fact that they all get a Hardee's biscuit that probably has something to do with it. So anyway, there's about in mid-90s as far as employees that we have. And ask me if I know all their names. Go ahead, ask. Can't ask, sorry. That way I don't have to tell you. Because no, I don't know all their names. I try really hard, but Rusty helps.
I try really hard. So with the meetings, we do try to communicate as much as we possibly can. In doing that, we try to help the employees to know what to expect, what's coming, what we're working on, and being as open as possible, and even taking questions sometimes. And so in doing that, you're trying to educate as many people as you possibly can. So for instance, whenever we have an experience on the phone, we have an experience with a customer on retail, we have an experience that we did over the weekend, that we learned something about leather or something that can portray, or work in our business, we try to visit. We try to put that out there in a conversational manner and just help them to understand how that could apply. I think that does help us with our growth. Now, growth is extremely challenging.
And expensive.
And it can be painful. And I'm sure that we have done our fair share of sharing the pain with those through growth, because it causes you to work fast and furious and possibly make mistakes.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that, because this is the leather business. And I don't care who you are. If you're involved in the leather business in any way, shape, or form, whether you're making something, selling something, buying something, you're going to make mistakes. And we make them. And when we do, we want to try and make it so that everyone in our meetings understands what those mistakes are, how they came to be, and what we can do in the future to not make those same mistakes again.
Well, this goes back to question number 1, I think, Kevin, because truthfully, you and I both want the same thing, in a sense of we want to make sure that every time there's a concern, a question, a problem, a mistake, that our employees handle it exactly the way we would handle it.
Yes.
That is very, very hard to do.
That is really difficult. And back to that question about philosophy for business, when Springfield Leather came into being, many of you old-time leather crafters will remember the first advertising that Springfield Leather did was mainly about dogs. We didn't even know enough to put our name in big letters on things. I'm not sure we still do. But I wanted to do something different, because there just, in my opinion, was not enough humor in the world. And everybody and their brother was advertising, buy this because it's a deal. We have the best this. We have the most that. This is the cheapest. I just wanted to have fun. And I like that.
So something I
today.
enjoy is the possibility of the answer to the next question. What is it that makes you get up and come to work every day?
Oh, my wife. Well, I mean, that's pretty easy.
I bet. Bye, Kevin.
Yeah. No, I still like what I do. I enjoy coming to work every day. And I try and keep a balance between what's really important and what's next in line and what's next under that. So that's why I'm not here.
7 days a week anymore?
Yeah.
Just 6.
Well, hey.
Hey, we can't complain.
It's improvement.
If you're looking for Kevin, he's probably making bundles.
What
somewhere.
about you?
What makes me get up and go to work every day? Well, I come to work every day with my wife, so it's obviously not her saying, bye, I'll see you later, have a good day. It might be her saying, are you going to get up?
Yeah.
You know what? I enjoy what I do. And what I do and what you do in this business can overlap, but they can be very different at the same time.
I appreciate that. And, for those of you out there that might not know this, Rusty is married to my daughter. I didn't think I was ever going to get rid of it. I mean, what I meant to say was this has worked out really good.
And what I say every time is I had my job before I married the boss's daughter. I just clarify that.
Yeah. Okay. What's next here?
I do enjoy what I do. I enjoy the fact that we have so many different people. I enjoy the fact that we have so many and such a variety of customers. I enjoy the fast pace. I know you enjoy the fast pace, and ultimately, I kind of like to be the boss.
Well, you're getting your share of that. I gotta give it to you because I'm enjoying not being the boss. That just is, boy, you don't know how good that feels. They have a question on here that I really liked. It says, "Do either of you ever say no to a leather purchase?" He doesn't.
Oh, come on. You have got to be kidding me.
Well, not very often anyway. Sure, we say no, but it's rare.
Well, for you, it's rare because if I say no, then they call you and they say, hey, Kevin, I've got this stuff. And you say, oh, I've got to have it.
Oh.
See? That's the noise.
You are such a liar.
So when do you get your lacing done, Kevin? Speaking of being honest.
Well, hey.
Because maybe you don't know. We sell pre-laced wallets, finished wallets that are on our retail floor, and we sell a few of them to people who buy and resell. So those wallets all get hand-laced by Kevin.
You cannot hand-lace a wallet and sell it to somebody who's going to resell it and expect to make any money on it, at least around here.
Sure.
So I discovered early on that if I'm going to lace a wallet, and by the way, I'm the world's fastest lacer.
That's fact.
Or close to it. If I'm going to lace a wallet, I have to do it at a time when you can't when you can justify your time. So I lace on the way home when I'm driving.
You heard it. You heard it right here. He laces and he drives. Be glad you live where you live and not where we live.
I can get several done on the way to St. Louis.
Well, on the way to Denver, actually, and back, he can get about 25 to 30 done, bifold, trifold, full-size wallets, completely laced.
Hey, isn't there something else?
The question asks if you're ever still. Do you ever stop moving?
Well, to be quite honest, not a lot. I prefer to be up and around.
Well, I will tell you something that's great. If you have never been to Springfield Leather, you should come and visit our store because we have around 33,000 square feet. And that means that at any given moment when you're looking for one of us, we're probably either 10 steps ahead of you or 10 steps behind you.
I know exactly where you are every single minute. And if you ask, I can tell you, when I've got something important that I need to talk to Rusty about, I know exactly where he is, and that is somewhere else. That's a fact.
That's exactly where Kevin is when you need him too. He's at speed dial 2, right after his daughter.
Yeah, well. Anyway,
All right,
what's next
so
here?
what's next? Well, what's next for SLC? We have reached 20 years, and we got a congratulations. We thank you very much for that, and we thank you for the 20 years.
Who would ever have thought that? Anyway, so we have expansion plans. SLC is going to get larger. I hope we get better. There is a little room for improvement.
A little.
And we're working on that constantly. So anyway, here in this next, depending on how old this video is, but by the time you watch it, there's going to be a lot of changes happen. And we're excited about that.
The good thing that we both have come to appreciate and realize is that growth is a must. Growth can be expensive. Growth can be painful. Growth is a must, but you can also control the growth. And that's a key, I think, really is controlling the growth to be at the right time, when you need it, when the opportunity is there. And so that's what we're hoping to take advantage of, and we'll give you more on that later. So question number 10, is there anything else about SLC and its culture you'd like to share with your customers? Juicy tidbits?
Oh, gosh. Well, I don't have any juicy tidbits, I don't think. But
You told me you would have. We
Well,
went
probably-
over this. You told me you would have juicy. You said all you have to do is say juicy tidbits, and you would have something juicy tidbit. Those are your words.
Okay, I'll have some.
All right, I'll come back to that.
So, one thing I would like to convey is the fact that we are trying really, really hard to do our best that we can possibly do for our customers. And it is a challenge, especially when you consider the variety and the different types of customers that we have. The ones that know leather inside and out, and the ones that think that leather should be perfect like plastic.
It's not dimensional plywood.
The customers that think a square foot of leather is 12 by 12, and the customers that realize that in order to buy a square foot, you might have to take a piece that's irregularly shaped, and everywhere in between. We are really trying hard. And so if you have an issue, please call us or contact us, and don't spit bullets when you're doing it, because that makes it harder to work with you.
Did you not catch the juicy part? That was more like an educational tidbit.
Well, I had to get that in there. As far as juicy tidbits,
What kind of tea do you drink, Kevin?
I go to a place that has two kinds. I get traditional unsweetened tea, and I mix it with something called citrus green, which is orange stuff. Or sometimes I'll celebrate and put some raspberry stuff in it, and it's always unsweet.
So if you ever want to bring Kevin anything, bring him a glass of sweet tea.
Oh, gag.
See ya.
Gag.